everybody. Welcome to the podcast. This is the JRPG Report, episode 208. My name is James Fisher. Thank you for tuning in this week. We've got a really good podcast for you today, as Sony had their State of Play a couple days ago on Wednesday, and it promised 20 minutes of footage, and they were going to focus on Japanese developers, which obviously opened the door for JRPGs. And indeed, we did get them, but I wouldn't say it was exactly what I was expecting. We didn't really get any updates on already known titles, but we've got two today that we're going to lead off the podcast with that at least one is a completely new game and surprise, and the other one we knew about but we hadn't seen yet, so that's going to be lots of fun. We will start with the surprise announcement. In my opinion, I didn't know what this game was, as obviously it is a live stream event, so they're showing trailers, and when you first glimpse at this, you want to say Fire Emblem, which obviously is incorrect because this is PlayStation and Fire Emblem is a Nintendo property. And then my next thought went to, there has been some rumors that maybe we were getting some sort of remake of Final Fantasy Tactics. That was not true either, but it is kind of a hybrid of those two ideas, but a completely new game called the Diofield Chronicle. This is coming out for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC via Steam. Best yet, it's supposed to release this year in 2022. From the trailer, there is a very good mix of story and gameplay elements. When you see that in a trailer, that does tend to lean towards, hey, this game is pretty far along and it might actually meet that date. I'm always a little hesitant when I see a release date that's coming up fairly soon, let's say within the year, and they don't show a lot of gameplay. Well, this one showed plenty, so that tends to think it's going to happen. They're calling this the birth of a new simulation RPG with cutting-edge graphics. An all-new simulation RPG brought to you by Square Enix, combining our skill and experience in crafting great stories with real-time strategic elements. We have created a simulation RPG that may look familiar at a glance, hence my confusion, but provides something never seen before. This game offers a truly unique experience from both story and gameplay. This is a simulation RPG that chronicles an epic tale of war and honor. Features a unique war world depicting using beautiful graphics that blend fantasy, medieval, and modern-day influences. A deep yet innovative real-time battle system. The battles in this game are defined by the swift assessment of battlefield conditions and issuing decisive orders that take advantage of your true strengths and weaknesses to gain advantage over your foe. Make clever use of a variety of skills, classes, and equipment to attack the enemy and complete your mission. This one uses the diorama-style battle scenes. We saw that a little bit with Mistwalker's game over on the Apple platform, and the name has completely escaped my mind as we are thinking of this one. But the natural environment and cultures of the island of Diofield, combined with the unique diorama-style textures to create a clear and beautiful visual aesthetic. When you see the trailer, it is a quite unique looking game. I would say it's beautiful, in my opinion. Some people may look at it and not think it's so great, but I do think it's a very pretty game and has a graphical style all its own, which is important, in my opinion. Like, so this one's supposed to come out this year. It has Japanese and English voices supported. Text options include Japanese, English, French, German, Chinese, in both simplified and traditional Chinese is both simplified and traditional. There are no online features as of this moment. So I kind of like that. Square Enix is developing this in partnership with Lancarse, Lancarse. Some of the pedigree behind it. Producer and planner is Hiratu Yuki from Square Enix. Directors from Square Enix include my guy Takahiro, and from Lankarsi is Fuku Hirofuma. The character designer you may or may not have heard of is Takiki, who has worked on Lord of Vermilion 3 and 4. The concept art, which I think you will recognize, maybe not by name, but by notable works, is by Kuro Ayamasu, who has worked on Final Fantasy 12 and 13. Definitely you can tell that. So the basic game flow goes down to, we talked about the epitome of war and military intrigue, where you struggle for victory alongside numerous different forces. The player will participate in a war council event to plan strategy, select missions to tackle, and train up their units before taking to the field to command them in real-time battle. Rumor, intrigue, the fires of war, human drama, and the histories of the unique cast of characters are depicted through amazingly detailed story events that will draw you into the world and the story of Diofield. Beautiful illustrations that depict changing of the times and the narration that moves them along are one of the standout features of the game. And there are briefing scenes where the current tactical situation and an outline of the coming operation are explained on a tabletop map. These are important for following the flow of events and interactions between characters. I guess the main character of this is going to be called Andreas, and he can be controlled freely while at camp, talk to members of your mercenary company, enhance your units and equipment, and prepare for your next mission. There's kind of 4 main characters, and they make up the Blue Foxes mercenary group. Andreas is one of those, along with Frederic, Iskarion, and that's that's a name. Walta Quinn is a female character. The other 3 are male, and they kind of lead your mercenary group. Also at HQ, weapons can be bought from stores or developed by collecting and processing raw materials. Each weapon has its own attached skills, and different characters can equip different weapon types. You can enhance your units. Units can be enhanced using commemorations. Each different unit can learn various different skills to prepare them for the battle to come. Army composition. A unit is made up of a leader and its adjutants. Yes, with the leader determining the overall status of the unit and the skills it can use, and adjutants bringing additional skills. And then there's the world map. Select a mission to attempt and review the nature of the operation. Completing the different victory conditions set for each mission allows you to claim rewards. These battles are pretty cool to see play out. They play out in real time. You'll issue orders to the various divisions of the Blue Fox Mercenary Company and complete your mission. Split-second tactical decisions are the key to securing victory. Battles essentially play out in real time. You'll select a unit from your army and instruct it to move or attack in a suitable manner. You can also select to issue orders to all units at once, so adapt your commands to the situation at hand. You can even use an ambush attack. Use one unit as a defensive role to weather enemy attacks, and then maneuver another unit around to attack from the rear. This is called an ambush attack, and inflicts massive damage. There was a bunch of screenshots to go along with the new trailer that went out. There's a vast story of war and all those other fun things. It also goes into some of the characters that you will meet in this. So this goes on for quite a while. You can check out the full article that you can read on our YouTube channel. You can't read anything on YouTube, on our Facebook and or on our Twitter feeds if you're curious more. But I'm sure we will also learn more about this, including a release date. So far, it's just saying 2022. With it being announced here in March, I would probably tend to lean more towards a holiday. The schedule gives them a little more time to put polish on this, but it looks really good. It has been well documented on this podcast that I cannot play strategy RPGs. When I see stuff like this, it's very intriguing. It makes me want to try. Obviously, this one does sound like it's got some more real-time elements to it. not traditional, Fire Emblem type of game or tactics. So maybe it could be one of the ones that gets me into it. Maybe they'll put a demo out so I can try and see if I can play it or not. But that was not the only thing announced at Sony's State of Play. We'll get into the other big announcement next here on the JRPG Report. Now, unlike the Diofield Chronicle, when I saw this game pop up at State of Play, I knew exactly what it was. We've talked about trademarks for a couple weeks now for Valkyrie Elysium, and indeed we saw it. And I think it looks pretty cool. Publisher Square Enix and developer Soleil have announced Valkyrie Elysium, a new action RPG for the Valkyrie series. This will come out for PS4 and PS5 and PC via Steam. It will also launch in 2022. Here's an overview of the game via Square Enix. The trailer provides a first glimpse of the game's protagonist, who is unnamed at this time. A young Valkyrie who is entrusted with the fate of the world by the Allfather, the highest of gods and ruler of all creation. She will face various enemies on her quest and must utilize a variety of weapons, magic, and the power of her allies to prevent Ragnarok, the destruction of the world. Valkyrie Elysium calls on its roots with music from series regular Moitu Sakuruba, while driving the series forward in a fresh new direction with classic combat mechanics such as finishing moves and a combo system reimagined for action RPG. The game also features character designs by Yuya Nagai of Psy Designation. Here's some additional information via the PlayStation blog. Valkyrie Elysium is an action RPG featuring an epic story, beautiful environments, and a new fast-paced combat system that combines strategy, action, and a unique combo system that will test your ability to think and react. The game takes place in the distant past, in a world where Ragnarok, the end times, looms large upon the realms. With the last of his strength, the All-Father creates an emissary of redemption, a lone Valkyrie who can become the salvation of this doomed world. As the brave warrior descends into the ruined land, she encounters many challenges and uncovers the hidden truth behind its impending destruction. What will she think of this irrational world, and what end will she choose for it? The gameplay of the game also incorporates elements of the Valkyrie series classic gameplay, such as the Einheimer. Sorry if I got that name completely wrong, my bad. Recruitable warriors who will join the hero and fight at her side when summoned. It's a beautiful game too, with incredible art design that captures the spirit of the series in an exciting modern way. On PlayStation 5, it's also running in 4K and 60 frames per second, making for an adventure that looks and feels beautifully crisp. And of course, we must mention the music. Series composer Sakuruga returns and contributes to the game's stunning scores. RPGs are always much better when they have a strong soundtrack, and this one is going to be, literally music for your ears. Yeah, music's always been a strong point. I regret to say that I've not gotten to play a Valkyrie profile game or other ones in this series. That's the only one that I really know about. So when I saw this one, I was a bit dismayed that they'd kind of went the full action RPG route. But like it says, it does look pretty crisp and cool in action. And I think fans of the series are going to be pretty excited when they see it. And of course be excited that it's coming out this year. I would also tend to think that it's going to be later on this year. But, with the trademarks coming out not long ago, they could be further along with this game than you might suspect. The trailer certainly would also tend to make you feel that way. There's quite a bit shown in there, including at the very end, a mysterious Valkyrie, another Valkyrie it seems like, and I would have to imagine if you played some of the other games, maybe they threw this one in there because it's somebody that you might know. So stick around to the very end of the trailer and see who that mystery character might be. But yeah, I wouldn't mind checking this one out as well if Square Enix gives us a demo to see how this one is going to shape out. Quickly, we'll mention two things. Gamescom 2022 will run from August the 24th until the 28th in Cologne at Colmeze. I think that's how you say that. The on-site event will combine with an extensive digital program available online worldwide. So that's always a good thing. Sometimes we get more announcements than some, but it's good to see that one has been announced in August. Coming up way sooner than that, and hopefully we get some news out of it. Maybe not new news. We get to see some things we might have seen before. New Game Plus Expo 2022 will be back again. It will go on March the 31st in just a few weeks. The company is a stream which companies like Ascus, Idea Factory International, IT Creates, and NAS America show up to go over new games heading to North America and Europe. It'll be going on at 8 p.m. Pacific or 8 a.m. Pacific time, 11 a.m. Eastern time, or 5 p.m. CET on Twitch. So that's where you can find that out. I'm guessing it'll be on YouTube as well. Also there that you might have heard of is Playism and some other developers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 in total. So we'll hope to see some things from that, and here in a couple weeks we'll report on it on the podcast. Got some Chrono news for you guys. Chrono Cross released 2 brief snippets on their Twitter page. First showing off Surge's dash and slash attack. Looks better than ever. Looking forward to seeing that one in action. The second one shows off Luminaire. Surge's attack, that of course is a return of Chrono's skill from Chrono Trigger. They say you get that after 15 stars. His first dash and slash attack is of course available after 3 stars, which are earned by defeating bosses in the game. If you'd like to see those, you would need to see our either Twitter or Facebook pages in order to see those attacks. Or, of course, be following Chrono Cross on Twitter. You could have saw them that way. Of course, we have that release date of April the 7th for Chrono Cross the Radical Dreams Edition. I'm sorry. That was Dreamers. I guess not. Coming to Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and PC on April the 7th. I don't know if that one showed up yet on the PlayStation Store. As of the last time I checked, it still wasn't there. It was available on Steam and on the eShop. In honor of Chrono Cross, unless I've done this already, I'll need to go back and double check my soundtracks. If I've not played the Chrono Cross soundtrack, that will be the next one coming up for March. So I guess I need to check on that before making the official announcement, but that is upcoming, hopefully. In other Chrono news, Chrono Trigger, no announcement about it finally coming to modern consoles, but the PC version is getting a new update, I guess technically for the mobile version as well, but this update will have an option for 21:9 ultra-wide aspect ratio. It expands the total number of save slots to 20, which may not be the biggest deal for an average JRPG, but with the multiple endings to this game, you need multiple save slots. Improved general operability, always nice, and a 1.5 times auto battle speed boost. The update is live as of today, March the 11th. It's the first time Chrono Trigger PC version got an update since August of 2018. Yeah, that's been a while. So that's always a good thing as well. I really hope that Cross does well, and so Square Enix is like, hey, wait a minute. We've already got this optimized for PC. Why in the world have we not brought this out for Switch, PS4, and Xbox? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Now, if all there was the mobile version, and we still had the fantastic 3DS version, then yeah, you got to put a little more time and effort to it. But if you got it ready for PC, then you got it ready for consoles. Come on, Square Enix, shut up and take my money. I paid 60, 70, whatever bucks it was back in the 90s for Chrono Trigger. I would like to pay whatever amount you set down to play it again. So yeah, make that happen. We got some new information from Atlas about Soul Hackers 2, in addition to a ton of screenshots that you will need to follow to our social channels in order to check them all out. There was a little bit of information shared as well. So Soul Hacker 2's heroine is Ringo. She'll be aided by Fig, Arrow, Milady, and Saizo. Ringo and Fig are both Aeon digital sentient beings who are attempting to help and save humans. While people will play as Ringo, Aeon will be a supporter who provides assistance to the devil summoners. Ringo uses soul hacking to revive the recently deceased and help in achieving their goals. Each of Ringo's allies are humans. Ringo's is brought back via the soul hack to fight alongside her. They tend to represent different sides. For example, Saizo is a freelancer who isn't affiliated with any faction. However, Milady belongs to the Phantom Society, and Arrow is connected to the Yadakusuru. If Ringo and her allies team up with their demons and hit foes' weaknesses, they can trigger a Persona-style all-out attack called a Sabbath. So you'll want to check out all those screenshots. It looks pretty awesome. It was also announced, not surprisingly, as this... If the game's coming out for PS4 and PS5, it needs to have this feature. I can't imagine any of them would not. But consumers will be able to upgrade their PS4 version to the PS5 version for free. This includes the ability to move their data from the PS4 version to 5. There are some stipulations. If consumers have purchased the PS4 physical edition, they will need to insert their disc into 5 to boot up the game. Yep, that's how it works. However, the PS5 version of the game can then be downloaded for no additional charge. That's all well and good. I can't imagine any game. I mean, maybe some of the older ones, there might be some sort of fee to up, but anything that's released nowadays needs to have that. Soul Hackers 2 will come to PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and PC on August the 25th in Japan. We'll get it on August the 26th in North America. And Europe, anyone who pre-orders will get the Persona 5 themed pre-order bonus. Final Fantasy, you might have heard of this series. It's been around for a while. In fact, of course, they are celebrating their 35th, that is 35, anniversary, and then updated their website with a fancy new logo. Of course, we've kind of talked about they're teasing more information about Remake Part 2 this year. This is the 30th anniversary of Final Fantasy V. It's the 25th anniversary of Final Fantasy VII, and the 20th anniversary of Final Fantasy XI. So it's kind of cool that everything worked out so well. They are promising more announcements that will bring fans closer to Final Fantasy sometime this year. They didn't really go into what that means. Stay tuned. As soon as we have some announcements, we will let you guys know. As part of perhaps that celebration, and I teased this a while ago about how cool it was, the Final Fantasy VII Remake Buster Sword clock. That looks pretty incredible. Well, at least this burst my bubble just a little bit. I would love to have it. Don't get me wrong. But once you find out the price to things, you kind of have to scoot back. So I don't know how big this thing is. I'd say it's about average size, but it's going to cost you $188 when it comes out. And that's a bit steep for a clock, no matter how cool it is. It does play some music, You can set it. There's a total of 5 songs that can be set as an alarm for the clock. You can get this includes the main theme, Fight on the Airbuster, Eris theme, Home Again, and One Winged Angel. The other thing that I wasn't super impressed with is they did show a video of the various features of the clock. The clock's fine, but these songs have been added in, and the bass is very tiny for this. So I'm guessing the speaker is not great, so the music quality coming out of it left a little bit to be desired. When you can pick up, a Bluetooth solid speaker that puts out amazing sound for $30 or $40, I kind of would expect them to have that in there as well. It needs a better speaker than what I heard if I'm going to spend that kind of money and have a feature like that. I know that's not its main feature, it's a clock, but still, it didn't make me want to run out and buy anything else. But if you would like to get it, you are more than welcome to, of course. It is available through pre-order through the Square Enix e-store. The clock, when it's on standby, the colors of the LED time will fluctuate at random. The volume and brightness can be adjusted as well. So there you go. In kind of sad, I don't know, sad news, but it's just the way it is sometimes. As a de facto rule, I don't talk about things really outside the JRPG world. This is a distraction, perhaps, from those things. But as we kind of experienced the past couple of years with Corona, it can't help but affect it. And the current events of the world are having an effect on video games in ways that you wouldn't normally think of. But at least one thing that has been affected is the release of Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp. It's been delayed again. They are citing it as due to the events of the world. It's not the right time to release this game. Okay, that's Nintendo America. That's their prerogative. Was it a case where this game couldn't come out on April the 8th? Anyway, maybe it was being delayed, and so this is as good of a reason to delay it as any. That's fine. They don't have a new release date for it yet. Yeah, no, they haven't said when that's going to be. I'm guessing just hopefully, when things calm down in the world, but they, I guess, just didn't think there was an appropriate time to release a war type of game. It would be interesting to see, let's say, if this was November and a game like Call of Duty that comes out every year wouldn't come out. I don't want to speculate on what that would be. I just think it would be kind of interesting to see. But yeah, if you're looking forward to this one coming out in April, it has been delayed, at least for the time being. And as soon as it does, I'll let you know when that new date is coming up. In better and brighter news, perhaps, let's see. If you haven't had a chance to check out Monster Hunter Rise on the Nintendo Switch, there's a free trial. And it actually started today. That's March 11th. It will run through March the 17th. So get on the eShop and you can try this thing out to see if you like it or not. That's pretty cool. I like it when they do that type of stuff. In other Monster Hunter news, in a couple of days, on March the 15th, will be the Monster Hunter digital event. And they're going to be showing off Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak's expansion. This will go on at 11 p.m. Japan Central Time on the 15th, which would be 7 a.m. Pacific or 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It will be held through the official Monster Hunter Twitch channel. Alongside the reveal of new monsters, gameplay, and more information will be shared through this event. This is the first time they'll show off, first time Capcom will show gameplay of Sunbreak on stream. To date, they've only released a couple trailers for it. So if you're looking forward to that, before its summer release, you'll be able to check that out. On the 15th, also coming up here soon, we have a release date for Disgaea 6 Complete. It will launch in North America and Europe on June the 28th for PS5, PS4, and PC. Users who purchase the PS4 version will be able to upgrade to PS5 free of charge. It's good that we finally have a date for that. Of course, you will join Zed on his quest to rise above his lowly status and challenge a god of destruction. Along the way, meet zany characters, explore chaotic new worlds, and discover the power of sibling bonds and determination. Experience the over-the-top tactical combat, complete with insane special attacks and a wide variety of allies to choose from. And when things get too hairy, use Super Reincarnation to keep trying until you succeed. With customizable gameplay features such as autoplay and demon intelligence, both new and returning players can forge an HL-raising experience that will fit their lifestyle. Diving into Disgaea has never been easier, they say. Additionally, Disgaea 6 Complete includes new recolored downloadable content as well as all previous released character and cosmetic DLC. So, yeah, there you go. If you've been waiting, we talked about, surely they're going to bring this thing out for systems outside the Switch, as they did in Japan. It's available for PS4 and PS5. It only made sense that it would eventually be coming to these other consoles as well. Got a few other quick stories to pass along to you guys before we wrap this up on 208. NAS America released a new trailer for Panini Presents NAS Classics Volume 2. This is the one that includes ZHP Unlosing Ranger versus Dark Death Evil Man, and the other one being Makai Kingdom Reclaimed and Rebound. These are the game is stated to come out for this is just for Switch and PC on May the 10th in North America and May 13th in Europe. You can check that trailer out in its entirety either through our Facebook or Twitter channels. There was a good review and write-up for the Cruel King and Great Hero through our friends over at Siliconia, so you'll want to check out our socials for that full article if you've been looking forward to it. And they liked the game. I'll go ahead and say that, but I won't ruin anything else in terms of what that might entail. I thought this was a cool idea. So Nintendo is offering a Triangle Strategy alternative box art cover as a reward. The reward costs 30 platinum points and will be available until July 30th of 2022. The art consists of the main Triangle Strategy protagonists standing together at a gateway. In order to obtain the reward, you simply click the redeem button on the website listing. You can then download a high-resolution Triangle Strategy alternative box cover art and print to use using your own home printer. Nintendo says it will print at an actual size using letter-shaped paper and recommends using gloss text type paper for the maximum effect. This is cool, don't get me wrong, but I don't know if a lot of people have the best ability to print off something of quality on their home printers. This might have just been a nice throw in as a, I love it. Maybe you guys do that as well. You get assuming you still buy physical, you get a physical game and it has the alternate box art on the inside of flap, and you can choose which one that you would like to display. I always I guess most times I probably go with the alternative, but sometimes I like the original better as well. The Choose Your Own Adventure RPG Sin Chronicle will launch for iOS and Android devices on March the 23rd. In Japan, Sega announced this is a single-player RPG from the studio behind the Chain Chronicle series, and that's a Japan release date. Still no word on if it's coming to the rest of the world or not. If you have been playing Atelier Sophie 2, Koei Tecmo would like to know they would like to know the answer to a couple questions. You can get the link on our social media channels. One of the questions is asking if you would like a possible English dub That's a good question. I would be curious to know the results of this one as well. Personally, I'd like to see that. It does go back into the idea of if it would take a little bit longer for the games to come out, if they're doing that, or if this is just something they would like to do post release as an option. Then you're also getting to the point that I've already played the game probably by that point. If I get it when it first comes out. So yeah, that's an interesting thing. As far as I know, and I may be mistaken, I don't think the Atelier games have ever had an English option, at least that I can recollect playing. Certainly, the more recent ones have all been just you get to read the English, so that'd be interesting. It's as a part of their charm, in my opinion, is the hearing the Japanese voices, but we'll just see if that ends up happening or not. This one just came across the desk this morning. I'm not familiar with it, but I'll read it to you. Intergram has announced a new dungeon RPG based on the light novel, manga, and anime series KonoSuba, God's Blessing on This Wonderful World. It'll be available for PS4 and Switch. The new game, which title has yet to be announced, will be a follow-up to Intergram's first KonoSuba dungeon RPG, Labyrinth of the Hope and Gathering of Adventures, which was released for PS4 and Vita back in 2019. Further details will be announced next week on March the 18th. There was a teaser website that was thrown up for this one as well. But hey, let's see if this one turns out to be cool or not. You never quite know with these ones. They could be kind of hokey or RPG Maker like, but we'll just have to see if that one turns out to be something cool or not. One final fun story I ran into from our friends over at Siliconia. They asked, what do you want to be the next HD 2D game? And obviously, Triangle Strategies launch and the recent reveal of Live Alive Remastered, they has piqued their interest. So the obvious answer is Chrono Trigger, at least in my mind. We'll have to see if that one happens or not. I don't know. That may be too much of a sacred cow for them to do or not. The first answer they got from their staff was from Stephanie, and her second choice was for purely sentimental reasons. She liked to see Brave Fencer Musashi. I don't know. That was an interesting game at the time. It could work. I don't know. I'm just reading their answers, right? The next person to answer was a fellow by the name of Josh. He says, is it too soon after release of Pixel Remaster to ask for a Final Fantasy HD 2D remaster? I don't think so. I would love to see it reimagined in that way. Obviously, we had the template with Dragon Quest III coming out, that taking those games and remastering, I think would be a great idea. And why not start at the beginning, right? And see how that goes. Jenny says, we've never seen a Hinjuku Hero game outside of Japan. These are real-time strategy games that showed up on multiple platforms, but we've yet to see it here. Sure, I can't say. I've not really heard that one. Then Graham asks, speaking of localizations, there's a well-regarded Enix RPG that never made it to America. Now would be a great time for it. And I never quite figured out how to say this one, but I've heard it a million times, of Terranigmia. I hope that's correct. There were a few hang-ups in the game's subject matter that will likely put some doubts in Nintendo America's mind. This is what happened back in the 90s. But now, it shouldn't be an issue. And seems like a good idea. I've heard nothing but good things about that game, so that would be a perfect time for it. There's plenty more that you can probably bring to mind. I would love to see if you're doing Dragon Warrior and Dragon Quest games, why not do all those as well? That would be just fine by me. All the Final Fantasies. There's an infinite number of these older games I think that could do well from that treatment, and maybe pixel remaster is a great thing in my opinion, but modern gamers probably aren't going to touch that. Maybe it's a way to bring some newer gamers into the classics in a fresh new way. We'll see. That's going to do it for episode 208. No Sunday special this week, but like I said, if I haven't done it already, we'll do Chrono Cross next week and get us ready for the big remaster coming up in a few weeks. We'll be back next week with more fun JRPG stories, but until then, get back out there and level up.